Okay, Jake, we're going to study for your Science Chapter 1 study guide. You did great on the first Section 1 and 2 quiz, so I'm excited to see how you do in this next section. I think you're going to kick butt. So let's see. So Science Chapter 1 study guide. All right, so what is the difference between biotic and abiotic factors? Biotic obviously has to do with living or was living, and abiotic is non-living, never living. So two examples would be for biotic would be a deer or a snail. Abiotic would be a rock or a shell. So those were never living. Habitat. It says, please define and list the main things a habitat provides. So a habitat is an environment that provides the things an organism needs to live, grow, and reproduce. So a habitat allows us to live, grow, and reproduce, all three things. So it provides food, water, and shelter. Those are the main things that a habitat provides. Ecology is the study of how living things interact with each other and their environment. So the ecology is the study of how living things interact with each other and their environment. All right, here is your levels of organization. OPCE, OPCE. Organism, population, community, ecosystem. You crushed this on the last quiz. Expecting the same thing from you. So organism is a single organism. Population is all the members of one species in a particular area. So if we look over here, we have our little spider. And here we have this all different spiders, but they're all the same. Community is all the different populations that live together in an area. So here we have spiders living with rabbits, living with trees. So that's our community. And then ecosystem is the community of organisms along with the non-living. So it's all of it. So we have the sun, we have the clouds, we have the rain, we have the wind, and that's your non-living things. And then you have your spiders, your rabbits, and your trees, which are the living things. So organism, population, community, ecosystem. OPCE. Population, the number of individuals in a particular area. The population density is the number of individuals over the unit of area, which would equal your population density. So this ends up becoming an equation for you to do. So what is the formula for calculating population density? So you use the formula to determine the population density of a mouse population. If you count that there are 40 mice in 10 square meters, so you put the 40 mice, so you put the animals on top, the 10 square meters, you put the distance on the bottom, and then you do the math, eliminate those zeros, you're going to find out that it's 4 mice per every meter. So that's how you do your population density. Animals on top, distance on the bottom. Okay, for number 7, it says you will be given examples of the methods of determining the size of a population. You will have to identify the name of the method. So direct observation means count all the members. So when you count all the members, you're doing a direct observation. You are actually observing the size of the population because you're counting all of the members. So the indirect observation is where you count signs of the organisms. So how many houses do you see? How many cars do you see? That would determine how many people lived on the street. Or you could look at, little burrows where little bunnies live, feces, different things like that that would tell you how many organisms that are indirectly observed because you don't actually see them. Sampling is an estimate by counting members in a small area and then multiply to find the number in a larger area. So that was that example from the previous quiz where if you knew there was 10 trees in a square foot, you could figure out then how many trees were in the entire park. Mark and recapture studies. This is an estimate by capturing, marking, recapture to see how many already marked versus non-marked animals there are. So this would be like, putting little tabs on birds' feet and tracking the marked versus non-marked animals. Emigration with an E members exiting, leaving an area or a population. So exiting, E, emigration. See this E here? E, exit. Think of the fire. E, exit, everybody out. The fire sign in your classroom is red. It means get out. So the members are exiting or leaving the population. So E, emigration, get out. The next word is I, immigration, go into. Immigration, go into. So the members move into a population. So if it's an I, it means go in. Members move in. So you're either exiting or you're going in. Emigration means out. Immigration with the I means move into the area. Carrying capacity. The largest population an area can support. So this is the most amount of cupcakes, or how many people you can invite to a party based on how many cupcakes you have. So that is your carrying capacity. The niche. It's the role of an organism. It's how it makes its living. It's its lifestyle. So the niche is the lifestyle that's unique to that organism. Limiting factors. Limiting factors list the main factors that prevent survival or growth of a population. So some of the things that would prevent survival or growth would be access to food, access to water, access to space, and weather. Weather conditions can really impact the success of an organism. What could make a population size increase? So immigration, in, animals moving into an area, animals having births, lots of babies. If there's a lot of prey, so that means there's food for them, they're going to come into that area. And if the weather conditions are stable and the animals feel safe, that will increase your animals. Adaptation. Adaptation is an inherited characteristic that help organisms live successfully. Essentially, that allows people to respond to change. So inherited characteristics that help organisms live successfully. Give two examples of each. Predator adaptation. It means having speed, sharp teeth or claws, having sticky bulbs, stalks, being able to smell things. Prey adaptation means that it mimics something. It's got colorization that helps it. It can hear. It's got scales. It gives off poison. Okay, so those are the prey adaptations. Competition. Competition is a struggle between organisms to survive as they try to use the same resources. So they try to use the same food, the same mates, same shelter. So the struggle between organisms, the same organisms to survive. Okay, using smiley faces indicate how the organisms interact with each other in the three symbiotic relationships. So if it's mutualism, that means both organisms benefit. You get something, I get something. Commensalism means one person benefits, one person does not benefit. They're not harmed, but they're not benefiting. Okay, they're just blah, present. Parasitism means one person's benefiting and one person's actually getting harmed. So mutualism, everybody's happy. Commensalism, only one person's happy, but this guy's kind of like, meh. Parasitism, one guy's happy, one guy's sad. 18, predation. Predation is the interaction where one organism kills another for food. I'm thinking it's like predation, probably. Okay, so it's where one organism will kill another for food. So that predator relationship. So here is our relationships. We have our ladybug and we have our aphid, which is the flower or the leaf. So the predator is the ladybug, the aphid is the prey. So it's getting consumed. You know this stuff from your nature shows. The lion is the predator, the gazelle getting stopped down is the prey. Host versus parasite. Label each organism as either the host or the parasite. So the human being is the host and the parasite is the mosquito. Okay, so the parasite comes up and takes blood from the human. The flea is the parasite, the dog is the host. So the dog, just like the human, has to deal with the flea biting and taking blood. The sheep is the host and the tapeworm is the parasite. So this weird little microscopic worm living inside of the sheep's intestine makes him the parasite, makes the sheep the host. Succession. It's a series of predictable changes that occur in a community over time. So it's when a community changes as predicted. So these are things that were supposed to happen. So label each series of pictures as either primary succession or secondary succession and explain why. So here we have a little bit of soil, things start to grow a lot. You have shrubs and bushes now you have trees, and before you know it, we have big mature forests. So this is secondary. So here we have no soil or bare rock. And then before we know it, little parasites grow, and we end up with primary succession. So this is secondary because soil's already here. Primary is the absence of soil. So primary means no soil. Secondary means the soil was already there. I hope that helps. The first organism to populate an area where primary succession is taking place is the pioneer. Okay, he's the new guy to the show. That's the pioneer, first organism to populate an area where primary succession occurred. All right, bud. Please let me know if you need any help. Good luck with everything.